I need you. What? Those are rookie numbers. I need you masturbating up to 3, 4, 5 times a day. That's how we should start every podcast. Hey, welcome back to episode 137 to the... What's that?
They copyright it?
Yeah, they could. Who's going to copyright it?
All right. I've been meaning about Interstellar on 4K, by the way.
Interstellar's a great movie. Yeah. I love Interstellar.
I've seen it once.
It's pretty great.
I watched that new Alien movie.
Prey?
No.
Alien.
Prey's amazing. What is it? No one can can save you.
The Hulu movie. I've heard about it. Is it good?
No, it's annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
There's zero dialogue in the entire movie.
That's exactly where people are.
Did we start the podcast?
Sure.
Hey, welcome back to the HeadKanon. It's one episode. Well, there. Hey, welcome back everybody to episode 137. Just keep all that in. Just keep it all in. If you're new here, we do a new episode once a week. I guess
What's funny?
Crockett just like starting a sentence, starting the podcast, deciding to continue with the original sentence, and then starting the podcast again, which is really funny to watch.
You were started a dirt bike. Sometimes it goes and then cuts off.
Yeah, that's exactly
that's what I just did.
Yeah.
I just hit kickstarted twice.
Your brain went
Sometimes the engine's cold on here, and we gotta just hit it a couple times. It's actually hot.
I'm gonna be a code engine today.
It's hot
as
shit
shits in here. My God, dude.
I gotta fix that.
Yeah, damn. Welcome back to the sauna, everybody. We do a new podcast episode once a week. Sometimes on Tuesday, sometimes on Wednesday.
Yeah, what's the situation?
It's gonna be on.
I'm dropping on Wednesdays. Just because I have a really busy couple of months. So that's the situation. Your boy's just a little busy, and he needs the Tuesday to edit. That's it. That's it.
Links down below. If you want to follow us on any social media, keep up with the show for any time we're changing up like normal. So
actually,
keep you on your toes.
Thank you for 1,000.
Yeah, fuck, that's right.
Subscribers.
Oh yeah, I guess we should probably announce that.
We were so anxious about that for so long, like a week ago.
What?
Can you pull up your mic a little bit?
He did it.
What do you mean?
You had it like this, right?
Yeah.
Or like this.
It just droops. You know how that thing
Does it
goes.
droops?
It's a droopy mic.
Fix these. Get some blue mics.
Man.
Get some blue mics.
Blue
Downgrade the mics.
Expensive.
Dude, get the SB.
The SH Monstars.
I'm not gonna be fucking Shure SM7Bs. You know what? I got a bone to pick with fucking Shure SM7B people.
What's up?
Because you
my mic sound you know, actually no.
You know what? I
went back and was watching our Yu-Gi-Oh. No, I was watching our Yu-Gi-Oh stream. My voice sounds crispy in that. It sounds amazing.
You know why it sounds good?
Yeah.
Because I fucking helped you set it up. That's why it sounds good.
Yeah. Whoa. No, I mean, it was messed up there for a while.
Yeah.
But
it was good because I went to your place and I helped you set it up.
No, what it was I was putting because I don't have a fancy mixer, so I have to use that dynamite stick to the amp, the boost amp. Yeah.
You have to get a gain stick.
Gain stick. But I had it. But if you put it directly into the mic, and for some reason it does something
because it
weird
doesn't have power. It's a Phantom 48 micro. Whatever. I'm not gonna be a fucking.
We're not gonna. All right. Anyway, this is Bryan.
The point is, your Shure SM7Bs. Most people don't know how to use them. Most people don't know how to EQ them.
Holy
they
shit!
Just pull them
There's
out
a
of the
solar
box.
eclipse next week. Hell yeah!
What'd you say?
There's solar eclipse next week.
What the fuck are you bringing up a solar eclipse right now?
No,
just to get us to shut the fuck up.
No. Hell yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're scraping through this.
Yeah,
intro.
we're good.
This is Bryan.
Yeah.
Say hello.
Hello.
This is Tay.
Hello. We're not gonna see it either, sadly.
And then I'm Crockett. On about this solar eclipse.
Yeah.
There's a solar eclipse.
We got.
Hey, we have to attack the Fire Nation.
Yeah, they get stronger.
They're weak.
No, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
They're weak. They lose their power.
Strong. No.
They get stronger.
They get stronger
during
the
an
solar eclipse. Yeah. That's why.
No, they lose the sun goes out, right? And then they that's when they attack them.
Solar eclipse is when the sun's in front.
I forgot what they call it. The term in the show.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not a solar eclipse.
But it heightens their powers.
A solar eclipse, but what is it? Just a regular eclipse. Lunar eclipse.
Lunar eclipse makes them lose their powers. The solar eclipse, the sun's in front, so they get stronger.
What's behind it?
The bloody moon. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
Yeah, so today God damn, that was a chaotic ass intro. We got to fucking...
Hey, welcome back to the HeadKanon pod.
And start over?
No, just leave all this
that's
in,
fine,
but I'm
that's
going to do
fine.
it again. Hey, welcome back to the HeadKanon podcast, everybody. We have a new episode once a week, and you can find all the links down below. That's Bryan over there. This is Tay over here, and I'm your host, Crockett, and welcome to the show. Let's get this going.
Nice.
There we go. Yeah,
Perfect.
rapid fire
Yeah,
that.
nice.
Rapid fire. Cut it, print it,
Yeah,
film it.
that's going to be the thing that plays before the intro song, and then we'll actually leave the rest of
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So today I wanted to talk about specifically because I've been interested in this topic ever since Starfield got announced.
I thought it was Cyberpunk.
No, Cyberpunk was like the first time that I saw it.
Really?
Like, Cyberpunk was like the first time that I saw. Like,
Do you not
hype.
remember No Man's Sky?
No, I don't apply those games to the thing that I'm talking about specifically, because the thing that I'm talking about specifically relates more to like how like gamers as a whole on Twitter are reacting to like AAA game announcements, and then like the conversation on Twitter has been very annoying with like the recent games, specifically like Starfield. Cyberpunk has started seeing symptoms of it. And then No Man's Sky like definitely suffered from overhype, but it wasn't like the annoying thing that I'm talking about.
They lied most of the part.
Yeah. So, but what we wanted to talk about was kind of like hype culture and then overhype that happens online, and like how, just to get our opinions on like how that's affecting like the gaming market, specifically AAA gaming, because I don't see it happen with indie gaming at all.
Who gets hype for an indie game?
A lot of people get hype.
It is.
Yeah, a lot of people get hype for indie games.
Depends on
There's
how
a whole
good it
indie
looks.
game market out there.
But then
now
that
it's like-
kind of defeats the point of being an indie game, right? Like, it's,
No, what are you talking
Indie
about?
game
because it's
just
supposed to be
budget.
niche.
No, that's the budget.
But I mean, like, you know what I mean, though.
No, I don't know. What
It's
you
like
mean.
it's like when people say like, "Oh, unpopular opinion," but it gets 1 million retweets. It's not so unpopular, is it?
Well, they didn't.
What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not picking up anything that you're saying.
I'm saying like it's like an unpopular opinion when it gets a bunch of people agreeing with it. It's not so unpopular.
You're repeating the same thing that you said.
Yes,
But I didn't understand it the first time you said it.
that's what I'm saying about indie games.
That doesn't make sense.
It's like it's an indie game. Yeah, I get for budgetary reasons, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's not so niche.
What do you
Because
think-
that's a whole
what do you
appeal
think
about indie
independent
games.
means.
I'm not saying about the money.
No.
It's
what
not
do you-
about the money.
No. But what do you think independent means?
And in like an indie studio,
Yeah.
it's like
Independent game.
it's a small group of people that is not under a big developer that doesn't have huge funding.
Yeah. That has nothing to do with what you're saying.
What am I saying then, bro?
You're saying that like it's not about it being niche.
She's
It's
having
about
5 minutes in.
yeah. It's not about it being
This
niche.
is every week. This is every week that we're always arguing about something.
Yeah. It's not about it being niche. It's about the funding and the publishers that they have in relation to the game that they're making, not about the genre or like the audience that they have.
Yeah.
Indie games are no longer, even indie games haven't been niche for 10 years. They're part of the mainstream. It's like independent movies. Like Get Out was an independent movie.
A24 is not niche anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What do we talk about? I don't even know what we're talking about.
We're talking about overhype, but like indie games being hype does not negate them of their indiness. That's what you were saying. That, like indie games being overhype or hype like takes away the point of them being independent games. That's what you said.
They're not really like a
Is that what
dominant.
you meant?
Yeah. Like Cult of the Lamb, I wouldn't say is like it's an indie game in the funding, but it's not really like niche anymore. What I'm saying
they were never
is
supposed to be niche.
Yeah, but I mean like they kind of yeah.
No.
That like the games like where you control like Octodad.
That
Like
was
games
never-
like those. Like
Yeah,
where it's like they're supposed to be niche, they're supposed to be weird.
They're weird, but they're not.
But then they
niche.
get like when they're popular, they're not so niche anymore. Anyway, let's just keep
Yeah,
moving.
you guys
Yeah.
is going in a circle.
Yeah, you're arguing something that's like a fallacy in terms of categorization
I'm just saying.
for games. What?
What?
What
I
is
didn't know Devolver Digital did Don't Starve.
They might have published it, not developed.
Is that the with the
Yeah.
two kids out in the woods?
Yeah, I played on my PS4 when it first came out.
Did you like that game?
I played like 3 hours and stuff. I got it. I didn't hate it or anything.
Yeah.
It seems fine.
So what do you wanna-
But the thing that I'm talking about is like games online, like specifically AAA titles. This doesn't really happen to independent games because independent games are way more straightforward with like the product that you're getting. Like their marketing is.
You're not a Sonic fan.
Sonic fan has independent titles?
No, but they overhype indie titles because it's somehow better than a Sonic
Hold
game.
on. Like so you're saying that like people online, Sonic fans online on Twitter overhype independent titles? Got you. Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen that at all.
Like not Sonic games specifically, or is it like
games that's inspired from Sonic just somehow better?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that I'm talking about because the overhype culture that I'm seeing is like applies very broadly to kind of like AAA games and like things that deviate from AAA games. And it's like, for example, like Starfield was announced recently.
No, it wasn't.
I know.
It was released recently.
I just really hate Starfield. I hated Starfield. I played it and it was just so bad. But Starfield released recently, but before that, it had been announced for like 6 or 7 months close to the release. When
was it announced? Like
a long time
5 years ago?
But like 6 months before release is when I started seeing the conversations on Twitter.
2019, I think.
Yeah. And I started seeing all the conversations that were like, oh, Starfield's going to be the best game ever. You're going to be able to go from...
Game of the generation is quote from Xbox fans.
Yeah, like weird shit like that where people that's going to be the best game ever. You're going to be able to like walk from planet to planet, like walk from one other planet to another.
I wouldn't say people were saying it's... Well, maybe, people fans of Xbox, that's like the only game they were got to look forward to, then yeah. Or Bethesda fans.
I want to say like to...
Well, that's where I'm getting at. Like that's where I'm getting at. It's like that is a facet of overhype culture, and it's a facet of what I'm talking about that is like destroying conversations about gaming, and destroying like marketing that these brands are putting in because these brands are not correcting any of these conversations that are happening. They're not setting expectations accordingly. So like, where the fuck did Starfield people get that you could walk from planet to planet? Like from one another planet.
I can tell you exactly. It's those big. It's like the accounts on Twitter that make their entire like account based around like this one fandom, and to generate things, they just start lying. They blatantly. There's accounts that just blatantly lie about like when they are champion like Xbox or PlayStation. They'll just blatantly lie about shit.
Yeah.
And then no one
eye emoji with the side eye.
Yeah, and then it's just so they can get people to engage with their content.
Maybe I think overhype is the incorrect word for what I'm describing, but I think because those are the people that I'm talking about. Those are the people that are ruining the conversation.
Go ahead, say it. Gaming. Stupid people.
I don't want to call them stupid.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to call them stupid.
No, I am not. I don't care anymore. No, it's fucking stupid.
It's a stupid thing that they do, and I know that they're doing it for clout chasing a lot of the time. Just
they get money
viewers
for it.
To get that. They get like promo deals from the brands that they're associated with. But it's people that are like such diehard Sony ponies or such diehard like Xbox
or Nintendo fans.
Nintendo fans are like, in my opinion, the least egregious of them.
No,
maybe I just don't run into them. I just don't run.
It's just not. You might not see it, but I mean, there's definitely.
They used to be. They're the most what's the word? Pretentious, obnoxious ones.
See, I disagree. I think the most obnoxious ones are the Sony ponies.
Well, like Nintendo, like because they still.
I think it's because you see it. It's just that there are certain accounts on like.
They're all
Twitter,
terrible people.
Yeah, they're all.
Be honest with you, it's probably my fanboy side or something. I have no reason why Xbox fans act the way they are.
They don't.
The quality ain't there for me.
That's the thing.
You see what I'm saying?
Like if you see,
I don't get it.
What I'm saying is that if you see a Sony pony and they're acting out and they're a little obnoxious, you can be kind of like, listen, man, you're kind of right. I get it.
Yeah, God of War's fucking phenomenal.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I agree.
But when I saw it with Starfield, I was just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, why are you behaving in such a way where you're like blatantly lying about the product that you know you're going to get? You know it's going to be Skyrim in space.
Well, that's the thing, though. I saw some discussion regarding Starfield, and most of it generally is like a 7 out of 10 game, which is a good game. But I noticed the conversation when people say, I can't distinguish is it from how we are online culture now compared to back then, where like Starfield essentially kind of came and went.
Yeah.
But it didn't have no Skyrim effect or maybe Fallout. I'm not a fan of those games, but I do remember the
cultural impact
of particular Skyrim too.
I mean, we got 25 ports of the fucking game.
Yeah, and people still play and talk about that game.
Yeah.
Starfield, I don't see Starfield being that game 10 years later.
No.
Not because we had this before, just the fact that I feel like Starfield is like I don't see them making a sequel to this game.
Well, the thing about
they may will, but I don't see this game being that same.
The thing that's specifically interesting about Starfield is that Starfield is very much that game formula in space and like with some weird bad choices that like detract from the normal formula. Like the leveling is weird. The exploration is not really in the same way that like Fallout 3 wanted it to be because
I have no idea.
I've heard that like they could not make the same thing as like Skyrim. Like that's like even though this is like kind of new for like Bethesda that they couldn't kind of do that same old formula.
But they're using the exact same engine that they used for Fallout 4, which is a rebuild 20 years long.
I thought they made a new engine for this.
I heard the game just slow.
There's no way that they use Fallout 4's engine.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
Probably like
what is it? The creation engine.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's like what you call a Frankenstein engine.
Yeah, because it's been iterated upon for 20 plus years.
Can you
fact check it?
Yeah, what is it? I really think I remember them saying that they didn't. They're not. I know they didn't use a new. But I don't think they used the creation.
Yeah, they used Creation Engine 2.
They
the
built
first
upon.
game.
Okay.
This is the first engine to use it, the first Creation Engine 2.
Yeah, they built upon the Creation Engine that they already had, to my understanding.
Yeah.
There's no way they used the same. I mean, they may have made the Creation Engine 2, but they couldn't have built upon this. Because that engine just doesn't work anymore, I don't think. Because when Fallout 76 came out, that it was still on that, and that's why that game was dog shit.
No, that game was dog shit because they didn't finish it.
Well, they didn't finish it, but it was also built on that shit engine.
Well, the Creation Engine has been the only engine that they've used for the last 25 years.
Except for this one now.
Except for this one.
Well, this is another build of the Creation Engine, the Creation Engine 2. They didn't make this from scratch.
It says a new iteration of the engine. Creation 2. I don't fucking know.
They may have built upon,
No,
or they
like,
made it copied and then.
They wouldn't have called it Creation Engine 2 if they didn't.
It's like
because this was a I remember when they were announcing this game that it was like a problem because Fallout 76.
It features real-time global illumination and advanced volumetric lighting.
So you didn't like the game?
The game's dog shit.
Yeah.
I've heard kind of like, I've heard like some people really are into it, just depending on if you like Bethesda games, but you hated Skyrim.
It's an audience thing, right? I know that Starfield is not.
It's not a bad game.
It's not for me. It's objectively a mechanically clunky game.
I don't know.
It is. I've played it. It is objectively mechanically really, really, really clunky.
But it's kind of like, I mean that might be true, but
yeah. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it is a bad game objectively, but mechanically, the way that the game is built and you interact with the game.
You could say that. I mean, I think you could say objectively it's a bad game in your opinion it could be a bad game.
But that's not objective.
But it has like that
subjective to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But it has that Bethesda charm, which has a whole fan base built into it.
That's another thing. I don't think I know the Bethesda charm exists for some people. I think that they're running it short. Like I think that they're.
I thought about Bethesda charm was like the glitches and shit.
Yeah. Which a lot of them. Which to be fair, Starfield did not experience a lot of bugs. Like they're very minor.
They made it clear when they were doing this game.
Yeah. So
they should have left the bugs in there. Their bugs are funny.
No, they made it like a little personality trait, quirk, little shit.
Yeah, just
no one should be doing that.
When I was playing Skyrim for the first time and a giant hit me and I went straight into the atmosphere, I thought that was part of the game. I was like, that's crazy,
it's not
dude.
Cute. Like, stop.
That shit was kind of I like that.
Sometimes it works out that it's funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out, like Skyrim, Oblivion, and like even what was the one before? Was it Oblivion before
New
Skyrim?
Vegas? I don't know.
Yeah, Skyrim, Fallout 3, like New Vegas. Like New Vegas wasn't even made by Bethesda. It was Obsidian.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is like during the conversations where like Starfield was getting announced and we were having a conversation about Starfield, you kept seeing the same kind of people shouting about like Starfield's going to be the best game ever. You're going to be able to walk from one another planet to the other planet. You're going to be able to do like...
It's not even a game of the year conversations either.
No. You're going to be able to see like
Same
space exploration. Like you're going to be able to go fly in fucking space. You're going to be able to land like it's fucking No Man's Sky.
You're talking about more or less the developers did not promise these things, but the fan base itself went and ran with it.
And that's what I mean by overhype culture. So the thing is that like it happens like developers announce a game or publishers announce a game, right? And then there's massive fan speculation on what the game is and what the game is going to offer. And then what I think is the problem is that the developers, particularly of AAA titles, are not managing expectations around that conversation. They're not taking control of the conversation of their own marketing.
I would say
they're letting it go kind of rampant.
I don't have the issue with the game itself, but more so like PlayStation events.
Mm-hmm.
How like
this is actually good. I know exactly what you were gonna say.
So me, who fucking reads,
yeah,
PlayStation clarifies multiple times, hey, this is gonna be a AAA event is gonna be by indies.
Yeah.
Why do after the show they say like, and they have the right to, it's dog shit, or where's Spider-Man? Like they just straight up told you like a day prior.
Well, that was happening so much where people were they were announcing state, and this is exactly what we were talking about earlier about these Twitter accounts to generate hype, so their accounts get interactions. They just, when there's a state of play announced, they're like, ooh, what's gonna get announced, and then they put up all these fake fucking games like. Yeah. Sequels to stuff, and it's literally they're just making photoshops and then
get hype moments,
and then you get dumb people that are just really excited and they're really begging for something like, no way, this account with a bunch of followers made this post about like GTA 6 is going to be at this thing, and it's all, and they obviously know that they just pulling this out of thin air.
It's fucked up though because it creates like a terrible conversation.
It's just that cycle of people like it's just people running the gauntlet on Twitter.
Yeah,
and it's just people blatantly lying and then people falling for it and then people will get enough retweets and traction where normal people will see it and be like, oh, that must be actually there. Yeah. And then when they get to the event, they're like, well, where was that?
Yep.
And they're like, Sony blows dick. Like, well, this sucks. Like, why didn't you show this game that obviously, and that's what it just stems from people, and it's just people lying.
Yeah.
It's these accounts just fucking lying to your face.
I can name a couple of them off my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can look at one right now and just be like, you're lying.
There's but the interesting thing about that is just like it starts it's like a vicious circle, right? Like company announce X game or X presentation, these Twitter accounts start posting and like generating the hype and like posting rumors and whatever. And then like the company itself, because and I don't know how they would handle this, but like there is
the state of play thing is like PlayStation. Yeah. This was happening so much for state of plays that PlayStation started to announce and like, hey, this is going to be. This is only. There's no new games getting announced at this. They were saying that in tweets before the state of plays, and we're only going to talk about third party or indie games. And then somehow some lead heads still think like that there's going to be something announced.
This shit's aggravating, dude.
Yeah, it's a pet peeve. But that's on their own fault because they did temper your expectations. So that is on your own will of just being ignorant.
Sony, for me, because of doing that, because of doing these press releases and doing this like conversations, like Jeff Keighley did something before one of the conferences. I
remember that was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, where he was like, relax, like it's not gonna be fucking.
That was funny.
Mind blowing. He's like, relax.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I think I did. It was very. I remember something really funny he was doing. What was it? He was like, what did he say?
Wait, it was a game he was about to announce.
He said, manage your expectations.
No, it was some.
This was like during like the COVID thing because he knew the show was going to be like very like.
It was he knew that there wasn't going to be anything big. We hadn't had a show the year prior because of COVID.
Right.
So it was like it was the first time that the Game Awards came back after COVID.
Yeah, right.
It was that show.
It was that show.
But it also recently. I think it was the last Game Award. What is it? The Summer Game Fest?
Yeah, Summer Game Fest.
He was about to announce and people got hyped.
Yeah.
You're like, cut it down.
He was like, yeah, that's what
was that game.
I forget what it was. Maybe it was Mortal Kombat or something. It was like he was like, sit down.
Was it like,
yeah. It was a small title. Yeah. They said something was getting announced, but it was a small title. And I remember people sharing and him going like, relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something to relax on.
Yeah. And so like I like Jeff Keighley and like Sony have some kind of like journalistic integrity there that they're trying to maintain the information that's going to release at this thing to like be managed and like know what you're getting. And that way they kind of walk away a little bit from the people that I'm talking about, right? But Starfield, for example, when you start hearing that like, big, massive accounts, like it's on wide known media, that like you're going to be able to walk from one end of the planet to the other. Meanwhile, Bethesda is sitting in their offices going like, well, we can't do that.
Well, they can't sit there. Marketing side is probably like, go ahead. It's like, they don't care.
So like that's what I'm saying. They're driving, like that overhype culture is driving traffic into the game. So at the beginning, it's a very symbiotic relationship where like these people are generating buzzwords and traffic into the game and people are buying and pre-ordering and doing whatever. The company benefits from that.
But I don't want to blame the developers. I don't want to blame someone just sitting there.
I'm not blaming
texturing.
I'm not blaming anybody.
You go ahead and blame marketing because marketing 100% is just like letting that shit fly. And then if you go to a developer on Twitter, they'll be like, "That is definitely not in the fucking game."
Let me do the caveat. This is not against the developers. Right. This is not against the people doing the work of coding and the texturing and the modding and all that. This is not who I'm talking about. When I say developers, I mean kind of like the executive suite of the development.
You're talking about
studio.
corporate.
I'm talking about the corporate
Publishers.
head studios. That are making
Publishers.
that. So I'm not like the people that are texturing. Like if you're a texturer and like you're in your desk,
They're
and
just
you're
doing their job.
You're just doing what you got to do. Like
Well,
I have no beef with you.
when people think of these games, like the
I
studios,
know
that's
exactly what you're
literally
going
what
for.
they think of. They think that the direct person making the game is calling the decision.
Like these stupid devs, like no,
No,
not,
it's
not the
that
devs, it's
word.
you
the
blame the
fucking
fucking
guy
board
yeah.
and up. Like
Yeah.
blame.
That's
know,
what I'm talking about. I'm talking about marketing.
Those are
I'm
the same
talking
people that get
about
hyped for the shit we're talking about prior.
It's definitely marketing. It's definitely a marketing problem.
Yeah, but it's a vicious cycle, right? Like these people generate this weird fake hype. Marketing goes like, oh shit, they're talking about our game. Let's fucking keep it going. They don't temper the expectations, so they pre-sell a bunch of copies and like they're on media a whole lot, and then the game drops, and then everybody that was like hyped for that and following that hype train is massively disappointed. Your game stops selling. Your game flops.
This is exactly why I don't report leaks and shit. I
Yeah.
clarified it on PSN site. I wait for official fucking
Official
shit to
news.
come out.
Official news.
Yeah, people get so attracted to the leaks and shit.
Yeah.
And so far they believe it. Then when the official thing comes out, it's nothing like that leak.
Nothing like that.
So it's shit now.
The only leak that ever worked out well for me was the Resident Evil 4 leak, and that's because it was leaked literally the day before they dropped the announcement.
This is
That's
like
about
the
it.
same thing where they fuck with, like the Nintendo community when Smash was having new characters. They were putting like fake characters, like like
Yeah.
oh I got a leak, and then it's like a poorly like Photoshop character, like blurry,
Yeah.
and
did
they're
it for
like
PlayStation.
oh my god I can't believe like Samus is gonna be in
No,
like,
it cracks me
or,
up. Like when these
what is
people
the
They put
Under-
Ratchet and Clank in Smash.
no what is the Undertale guy?
legally do that. Like when they
Master Chief is coming to Smash.
surprised it
bro.
didn't happen though. I'm swear I didn't surprise it didn't happen.
I mean, I think they wanted to.
It's more possible than PlayStation doing shit. I can see Xbox doing it. But one the ones that cracked me up is like a clearly Google document of like Xbox Showcase, a list of games.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna take a photo of a Google document like that? Like, what the hell?
Yeah,
And it's always blurry.
but
Like,
people
always
believed
believe
it for so long. It's a joke now.
Yeah.
They're like, and then it's like coming to like Nintendo Switch, Halo 3.
And like really what it boils
happening.
down to is like really like journalistic integrity. You know, like people have no media literacy anymore, and they know how to like discern like fake information from like solid information, and like that's part of the problem for sure. But I think the problem where it generates with the overhype is this idea that like these conversations start happening, people start stirring up a world. That was a horrible sibilance. People start worrying up a storm about like what they're going to expect in the game, what they're going to get. The game comes out, they don't get that. Now the game is broken, it's not working, they're disappointed, and then it just tanks that game. And like we live in a day, like Bethesda's never going to tank, but we live in a day where if that happens to the wrong studio, that studio is gone. Like it's shut down. Because if they don't make the sales or they don't make the goals, then like they blew $5 million on developing this thing, the studio goes bankrupt.
And
so-
that's what just happened to
know
the
what
people
you're
who
talking
made the Callisto Protocol. They just literally lost all 3 of their heads.
Yeah.
So it's Polynesian Studio.
It was the Glenn Schofield studio. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Because that game actually sold decently,
It's on
but
PS
their
Plus this
budget
month,
was
too.
like, yeah, but a year less is not good.
Sony helped them do the mocap for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. They blew a lot in the technology. That game had a lot of problems.
I'm gonna
but-
finish. It's coming out this month for PS Plus.
Which one?
Callisto Protocol.
Yeah.
I want to replay it so I can like play it on PS5 because I played on PS4, and I was like,
It's on
literally-
PS4.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was literally
it came on
unplayable.
PS4.
It was literally unplayable without the day one patch on PS4.
I didn't
It was
know
like
that.
unusable. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is like conversations like that where like there's so much hype and there's so much like we're going to be able to do this and we're going to be able to do that.
Is there?
We're going to be able to do the other thing.
Because it's leading to. I'm trying to word it perfectly,
Yeah.
but more so expectations too, right?
It's a little big mixed bag of both because when I say overhype, I mean that like being excited about a game is never a wrong thing to do. Like be excited about as many games as you want, but don't over expect things that have not been told to you by the people that are making this game or the people that are working on this game or like legitimate news source because you're always going to get disappointed.
Getting your headcanon about like, I'm going to be able to like in Spider-Man, I'm going to be able to swing, like I'm going to be able to play as Venom. I'm going
Good.
Yeah,
When I mention this,
like
to start making up shit in your head.
when I say this is going to go to a different tangent, but
Yeah.
when I hear about overhype or expectations, my first thought was Disney's Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, you can elevate this into movies too. Like
and I often do. I often feel the same way about movie hype as I do about video game hype.
Because it's like, if you just said about like they didn't tell the story yet, but granted, when we got that story, it was shit.
Right.
And expectations sound way more better, even though it's spooled like fan and shit.
Yeah.
It did sound more exciting and better compared to what the Disney's offered. So it's like Last Jedi. It like when Luke throws Rey's lightsaber in the ocean. That's when the film just went downhill.
Yeah, I disagree.
I know some people agree, some people disagree, but mostly objectively people disagree with that fucking scene.
Yeah.
And going forward, the trilogy is already shit after that.
Yeah.
But it's like people have a thought of like Luke's gonna be this ultimate badass master.
Yep.
He's gonna train Rey.
He's over there drinking blue milk.
Grumpy.
Right out the titty.
He's gonna kill his own nephew, or potentially kill his own nephew.
Yeah.
And
See,
is there overhyped expectations though? Is it a blend of both?
That is, in my opinion, that is when a franchise gets so big and the conversation about a franchise gets so big, the fan expectations of that, if they don't line up exactly to what you're expecting from that universe, then that's what happened there.
This is one of the few cases where Disney, even though they got a lot of money, it kind of suffered that brand a bit.
It did. It hurt the brand a lot. Like Star Wars has not recovered since that trilogy.
Yeah, since that trilogy.
Since that trilogy. It really has not recovered.
So what is that then?
That is because...
Is that when the consumer wins that argument? Or
No, that is when a franchise is just too big. That's really just when a franchise is too big. The consumer loses at every point in that. Because when something refuses to die, and like fans have their own expectations, that it means so much, has such an emotional attachment to fans, that no matter what Disney does, like fans' expectations are never going to be met.
Yeah.
Because the franchise is too big. Like
since in the conversation has been like just cynical people.
Yeah.
It's not a fun.
There is nothing. There is no one that hates a thing more than like the biggest fans of that.
Sonic fans, Spider-Man fans too.
They like.
Well, sometimes the studio just needs to let something die.
Yeah, well,
like they need to start making it, and then like Star Wars, let it go.
It makes too much money.
Well, and then they also paid a fuck ton for it.
That's why I like when people that grinds my gears.
Or fucking Marvel, dude. After Endgame, let it go.
Oh my god, you're one of those annoying people. That shit's annoying as fuck.
Let it go.
It's not. It doesn't work that way.
Let it go.
God, that annoys the shit out of me. That's how I can tell who's the people who actually read the comics and watch the movies.
The thing is,
that's to annoy the fuck out of me right here.
Well, let them keep making comments.
The comics and the movies are such different mediums.
But they're like essentially the fucking same thing now.
No. The release could work the same way, but the problem is that the comics have been consistently good.
No, that's not. That's not true.
Consistently of a quality that is better.
No.
Like
Bryan, you might lose this fight, man.
Yeah, you lose this fight.
This man, have you seen this man's Instagram? He lived at the comic book store.
No, but what I'm saying is like comic books like have their own personalities to it. Like the reason why the Marvel movies kind of feel stale is really because they've lost a lot of the personality about the first
just
couple
running
movies.
into the fucking ground. That's it.
It actually is changing the. It's we mentioned this before. I don't want to go around the whole, but yeah.
No, I mean, mention it. But
no, it's just like when people ask for creator freedom, Marvel offer a little bit more, not always, completely, but some of it, and then the series kind of hit shit for it.
Yeah.
So they kind of trolling back on what the formula shit, what people complaining
and
about.
That's because, and this is another thing that I fucking want to talk about. This is where I get really passionate. By the way, I apologize. Fans don't know what the fuck they want. Fans do not know.
Yeah.
You
I'm gonna
don't
mention
know
Sonic a lot in this fucking video because it really is accurate.
You don't know what the fuck you want.
You don't.
You let the people that are making the thing decide what you want because you clearly have no idea.
You have no idea.
It's like everything, like fans have this weird emotional attachment to every franchise
that I know what's right.
Of. It like becomes their identity. It becomes their personality. And then they start building these weird pillars of like content and like ideas and theories and like better stories. Just like, oh, I can do that better than fuck. Hey, no, you can't. Shut the fuck up. You can't do
Also, if you want to go back into this, like tempering expectations. So like when a movie's having like a sequel and then there's like YouTube accounts making 15 videos, once a week about like theorizing what this next thing is.
The theory crafters.
People, Star Wars theory.
I can tell you exactly, like people, it's YouTube accounts building content off of hyping stuff.
Yeah.
And that gets, because people are excited and they want to be excited and they want to feel friends and they want to comment with people. They go to these sites and then they get generated into that hype. Yeah. And these accounts just feed off of that.
Yeah.
It's smaller people building off, and that's kind of like the fucking problem. But it's like marketing lets that kind of shit go on because it just generates hype, pre-ticket sales, all that shit. And when the movie necessarily might not even be that bad, but when it's nowhere near,
But it'll never compare.
it'll never
to
be
the
as good as
theater
what you
craft
think it
there.
is. Yeah, exactly.
And
And this is why like random IP do fucking good because no one knew what they wanted until they got it, and then they like, oh, I did want this.
Yeah, and this is what annoys me a lot. But like, and this is really a topic inspired by the idea of like the only thing that I think we should really gatekeep is journalism.
Like, you should gatekeep a lot of things.
Yeah, like I don't believe in gatekeeping a significant amount.
It
but
works.
Like nobody should. Not everybody needs to be a goddamn critic about something.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, I'm one saying yeah.
Yeah. But like we're critics, but we have an amount of media literacy that is considered above average. Like we understand media. We understand how media works.
That's the most aggravating part, though. It's like, why is it so wrong for me to watch a movie or play a game simply because it's fun and entertaining? Yeah. Why do I have to come on Twitter and I gotta pick my opinion? Like, I get annoyed when people tell me what you think about it. Who fucking cares?
What? Think about it.
Yeah. What's my opinion on it? Like,
like
I liked it.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's a totally valid.
Oh, I hate it.
Can you give me a 600-word essay in MLA format on your opinion of this movie, please?
Yeah. That's why I hate review scores too. Like,
cite her and then cite. Can you quote sources, please?
Yeah. Like I can't just like watch it and just like
people
it.
think that they're smarter than they are.
Yeah.
Like some things are just meant to be played. Some things are just meant to be watched. Like I don't expect fucking Vin Diesel's Taxi game to be anything other than a good, weird, crazy Taxi ripoff. You know,
Wheelman?
You talking about Wheelman?
Yeah,
That was actually pretty good.
Remember that game?
Good.
Game's awesome. I rented that game back in the day. Jump out.
That was a sleeper hit, actually.
Yeah.
That's one of those games you look at like this might be good.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
never
it was
know
really
what you
like.
go into.
No, it was like a sleeper hit for sure, dude. It was like
it sold.
it
really
looked
well,
because
bro.
it looked
really?
like a cheap game.
It was a really low budget game.
GTA game.
So it sold more than average. So it made really good.
That's
money.
one of those games where they had there was like some genius on the team that just like no one knew about, but probably went on to work at Infinity War or something, but like just hit it on the fucking head.
Put
He
his
was
whole
like,
pussy into it.
yeah, he's like, this is my first game, but I'm gonna make it good.
2009.
Yeah. 360, baby.
It was great. I was like, that was like one of those weird little games that just hit hard.
Like a small
And
compared
the thing is, like, the culture has shifted so much about like everything being grandiose and everything being bigger than like the last thing, that like we just cannot compete. We can't keep that up. It's not sustainable. And part of the reason is that's sustainable is because we got these fuckers on Twitter constantly saying, "Oh, this is trash and this thing is way better than that thing." And then like rising the overhype, engaging in like weird fandom wars, like Sony ponies versus the Xbox.
Stop saying
It's just
that's
like, dude,
hilarious.
Sony ponies is my favorite word. I love
Nintendo
nothing
bots.
this
Nintendrons. PC
What
Master Race.
PC Rat Master Race.
nothing dismantles a Sony pony more than being.
Where does the
called a
pony
Sony
bit come from?
Because she was writing Sony.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, I thought it was like being like shepherded by Sony.
That
I
may
don't
also
know.
work. That may also work.
I just
but like,
went with it.
it's these people that are so fucking blindly following a brand that they don't realize that there's a guy, I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to start fucking.
I don't give a fuck. Say it.
No, I don't want to.
Say it and then bleep it out.
It's
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, okay, yeah. Cut that, bleep that out, bleep that. Just bleep that. It's like this. We're all just like. We're just talking in silence.
Yeah, I won't speak more about that because you might pick a lot of edit out.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna speak much more. Like I bleeped out his name, but I'm not gonna speak much more about what he's saying. But his content on Twitter is so toxic.
It's like that in his videos too.
It's
The way he
such
speaks.
toxicity.
That's exactly what I mean though about like he is feeding
He's
into
part of
a
that circle.
fan base that people are looking to be like the guy for that brand.
Yeah.
But he's just like blatantly, dude, come on. Like that does not look
No,
that game does not look better than this game.
Like
It
there
is.
was
Peter.
But it's just because it
Ubu
is
guy.
this brand.
Yeah.
It's looks way and then it's that's bullshit.
They're trying to. People are trying to spoil Spider-Man 2 now.
Yeah.
Due to how people viewed Starfield.
We're trying to review bomb it.
No, spoil the story.
Oh, great! Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't keep up with any of them anymore because I find them exhausting. But the idea is that like these people are shitting on everybody's product and like talking so bad about everybody's product.
I feel like it's like a human nature thing because I feel like people
It's
do
tribalism.
This, yeah, it's like people do this with sports.
Yeah.
Like people are like, no, like even though they know that their team blows dick, like they like they're ride or die all the way.
Well, kind of different because a team you can pick a team any time of day.
Yeah.
You can't, but not everyone can afford a Switch or Xbox while having a PlayStation.
Yeah, some people have to make the choice.
They make the choice. And that's what these conversations lead into.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like, I understand that you have your preference.
Sounds like a broke problem to me. It's like,
I mean, the
peasants are squabbling because they can't afford three consoles.
Their argument is always like, maybe we can't afford that.
Yeah, like and this is another thing, by the way. Like I'm gonna, God, I have so many thoughts on this.
Well, you get invested. Like crazy. They're actually getting invested into a thing,
into the brand, into the.
And then it's like and then when you have someone else coming over and be like, your game or your site sucks, and you've invested your money, and you're like, did I make the wrong choice? And I don't want buyer's remorse.
Like it attacks your identity.
Like, yo, I'm not wasting my money on this. Like, fuck you. I didn't waste 5 years of my life on this.
I'm gonna keep quiet.
No, you should say whatever you want. Say
over my. I honestly think, despite the bullshit that PlayStation fans say regarding Xbox, they still have something to like say like, hey, Xbox does suck.
Here is the thing.
I know there's the criticism the bullshit fanboy is bullshit. I get it.
Here is the thing.
But it's
I
like,
agree
you
with
want
you.
You want to own an Xbox? Come on, really? Prior to the acquisition deals.
What do you mean?
Like.
Would you buy an Xbox X?
To play Starfield, I guess.
It's on PC.
I have to build a better PC.
It's on
my
Game
PC's
Pass.
out of date. I can't play it. I wanted to play it. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to play it.
Come to my house.
And that's the hard part about it. Like, I'm not. I mean, I guess I prefer playing on PlayStation, but it's not me coming out with a fanboy statement about that.
Dude,
I'm just saying what I see.
At the end of the fucking day, it's just about like the games. Like it's like you want to play that game.
People follow the games.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's all about the games.
But I'm saying it's like.
But then people get into the arguments like, where's it play best? Like, how does it play best? Like, where's the best graphics? How does it run smooth?
That's another fucking thing.
The way PlayStation fanboys are acting, or how Nintendo was fanboys prior, was like they have a right to swing their dick. Yeah, you can't argue against them.
They do.
Mario Odyssey is fantastic. Breath of the Wild is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
they have a right to be a dick. Well, not every right to be a dick, but they
have the
something
right
to back them up.
They have the right to be confident.
Yeah, that's how PlayStation fans feel.
And like I like a lot of like PlayStation the brand. Like say what you want to say about Jim Ryan.
Fuck Jim Ryan.
Whatever. I don't know enough about
Goodbye, Jim Ryan. Maybe.
I don't know enough about him to like really have an opinion on him. But the one thing that I like about
You're talking about
saying
holding their controller.
Yeah.
The games do the talking.
I was watching Secret Symbols and they did bring up a good point where during that photo shoot they're probably like, don't hold your fingers over. Yeah, like I'm like, damn, but that's still funny as like corporate people holding controllers is always funny.
That's true. The thing about the Sony people is that like I like that the brand is confident about the products that they're delivering. Like Spider-Man 2. Everything about the marketing has been exclusively about the game. Like they know that the game is going to be good. There's no bullshit about like.
What's Insomniac? We trust it.
Yeah. Like
God of War. Honestly, like I don't think the marketing's been that amazing
for Spider-Man.
It took them to reach to me where I'm like I'm just not.
That's a you problem. Though.
Yeah, but I'm also the audience. But I bought a PS4 just for Spider-Man.
To be fair though, Sony's marketing has changed where like they did with God of War 2 and Horizon where. They'll wait closer.
They'll push the marketing close to release.
Yeah. They don't want. They heard our criticism. Let's start announcing this 10 years ahead.
I mean, definitely Fallout 4 set that standard.
It's more boring. It's
more boring.
It's more boring this way, but you get what you want.
Yeah,
so.
But that's another thing. Like because you are so close to release when you're releasing marketing copy and you're releasing marketing material, people don't have time to theory craft expectations out of thin air. When you announce something like fucking Fallout 4 10 years ahead, people are going to be like, ooh, what are they going to do? They spend so long in development. It must be fucking amazing. This is what you're going to be able to do. They start theory crafting.
Cyberpunk's the worst fit in this too.
Like, Cyberpunk got really fucked by that.
And
like that's, and not to mention the rocky launch, but
Yeah.
What do you think about GTA 6 then?
GTA 6 is going to be as good as GTA 5.
There's a lot of expectation with that game.
I've been saying this for a while. I think GTA 6 is not going to do good.
It's going to be a game.
I think that game it will never live up to what people think it is because they have taken 10 years to announce the game is way too fucking long. They've held back for an entire generation. They held it back.
I would think since GTA is targeted to casuals, everyone has this game. It comes with a system.
Oh, dude!
But the casuals will love it, but single player offline people will hate it. This is going to be.
Well, it's definitely not that. It's not a single player type of game.
Yeah, well, we know
it used to be, but that's not their.
We know that because we're deep into the gaming space.
Right, yeah.
And casuals love playing with their friends online and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think the majority of
GTA 5 had a really excellent narrative component to it. And
but no one talks about that.
That's true.
It's about the game's gonna be GTA 6 and be GTA Offline.
That was a weird generational transition there.
The money they made from GTA Online is definitely is going to shift their culture about that game.
Well, they're going to update GTA Online, but what I'm expecting, I guess what I'm trying to say is because we've had some story details leak, and I am expecting the same business model. Like it's a great.
That's all they got to do. They don't got to do much.
Yeah, it's a great single player story.
Yeah,
because that's what I buy.
But I think we're in a completely different climate.
Yeah.
That was 10 years ago. Even though that you're having expectations that they're gonna have a good story.
I don't have the expectation that they're going to have a good story. I'm believing that they're going to have a good story based on their track record from their previous development cycles.
I don't plan for the story either.
Yeah,
I just turn my brain.
It's all about just going online and then just finding one guy on the server and just shooting a rocket launcher. That's all. It's all what it's always been about.
Like I engage with GTA completely differently. Like I play it for GTA 5. Bought me into the narrative of Rockstar. And then because of GTA 5, I got into Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2, which were great.
Did you ever play San Andreas or anything?
Very loosely. I played GTA 4 was my first GTA.
Oh, really?
I didn't particularly care about it. But GTA 5 was just oh, wow, this is really great. So I'm basing my expectations based on what I've seen Rockstar be able to do. But I don't have an expectation. If the game is not that, at the end of the day, I'm just going to be like, wow, they didn't make that game for me.
No, you
Look
won't.
at that. That's totally what it is.
No, you won't.
That's totally what it is.
I've definitely tempered my expectation. I really don't think
I'm
that
not excited for it.
I don't think that game will ever live up to 10 years of waiting.
Yeah. But that's kind of that's what I'm trying to say. The hype has been so much. We had the leak cycle. The way that information is propagating about gaming right now is ruining the experience of being a gamer. Because nothing can be left of surprises anymore. Everybody's trying to figure out what everything is. Everybody has the expectation of what everything is.
E3, a good example. It's they have sucked the life and excitement out of E3 because of leaks.
Yeah.
It still happens to this day.
It's the same thing. So it's this is why I think that overhype is such a damaging part of the industry nowadays, and why it affects primarily AAA titles. Because those are the things that the mass market audiences are really going to be buying. And so leakers and people on Twitter that are making this content are going to focus on that market audience because it's the biggest way that they can get followers, get deals, get sponsors, do that kind of shit. And I think it's so fucking draining and awful. And it's hurting the culture as a whole because we can no longer enjoy things like E3 because of leaks particularly. Journalistic integrity is out the window. Anybody can say anything.
Well, it's people that they don't even know about integrity.
Well,
it's people.
Everyone has a phone and records bullshit.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Everyone has an opinion now.
It's too easy.
There's no filter from the company, the media that's marketing it, and the people that deliver that media anymore. It's all about the company and then whatever people can get their hands on. Yeah. And that is unreliable, inconcise,
uncontrollable,
false information, incredibly hard to control. But the problem lies when people like Starfield, when people started saying you can go from planet to planet.
Can you do that? I don't know.
You can't walk from one end of the planet to the other end of the planet. So you can walk up to a couple of 100 meters away from your ship, and then you have to do a load screen, I guess.
Really?
And people were just
I thought it was generate Starfield.
Nope. People were oh, it's going to be there's going to be
No Man's Sky.
Yeah. What'd I say?
Starfield.
Yeah, No Man's Sky.
I got what you said. I translated in my head. People are going to be oh, you can just walk from one planet to the other to explore.
No, I always thought
you mean not to not planet to planet, but you can walk around the entire planet.
Yeah, at the circumference of the planet. And the people thought that you were able to be on a planet, get on your ship, and fuck off to another planet.
Oh no, I swear I was always thought like that. It's not like that.
No.
Oh, I got lied to.
There's a loading screen when you approach a planet, there's a loading screen for you to land. You get out of your ship. There's another loading screen. It loads the planet. You walk up to the end. There's an invisible wall. So to leave, you have to like go back to your ship. There's a loading screen. Find another landing spot. There's another loading screen, and then you can explore the rest of the planet. It's like 600 loading screens.
Oh, but you can still explore
anywhere.
an entire planet.
You can still explore the entire planet, but you have to get in your ship and land in different zones of the planet in order to do so.
Are they like preset zones or?
It's because
they can't load an entire planet.
It's because Xbox hardware.
Well, granted, it's a bigger game than No Man's Sky too.
Yeah, but Sony would have no problem doing something like that.
I don't know.
It's like the hardware, the hardware that Xbox is using.
You mean cell processor and all that shit?
Yeah,
not
like
processor, but SSD.
the processor, the SSD, like the way that, because they're making Starfield for game or consoles that may not necessarily have the most advanced piece of hardware.
Yeah.
So it's holding them back a little bit. And like you can do that. The point is that the expectations were there that you were going to be able to do all that shit, and then they weren't. And then now the game is like those things would probably have been annoying, but if we didn't know about them, we would have probably been fine with it. You know,
I would. It's my lack of not following the game.
Yeah.
I assume the game is going to be a lot like No Man's Sky.
It's not. It is.
But that's because I wasn't planning on getting the game.
Yeah.
So I wasn't.
You didn't get it. It's like something in your alley though.
I don't have my PC is not. I would have played it probably because I mean I do like that. That is I like Bethesda games. I do like Star stuff, but like it's just like the hardware of my PC is no good. I would. I mean, if I was a rich man, sure, I'd buy an Xbox. Just that when that occurred, where there was a game I wanted to play on Xbox, sure.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
But the thing is, like, I'm not shitting on the game for shitting on the game's sake. Right.
It's not its fault. It is a Bethesda game through and through. It's a Bethesda game. It's you should
temper. It's the game's fault. Don't get me wrong. It's the game's fault. Like they made a mediocre game.
I mean, they made a Bethesda game. Yeah, if you're not a fan of Bethesda games, then you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
But I think I would like it.
The thing is, that's fine if you like it. But the thing is, I'm not making this point to talk about the quality of Starfield specifically.
Yeah.
I'm talking about how the conversation around Starfield fucked up the perception of Starfield. And like No Man's Sky had a very...
So you're saying like people that are fans of the game or fans of Xbox that generated this, like, this game's going to be amazing, that's their own little subgroup. Yeah. Those people are just, ravenous for that. And they're like, they echo chambered that. And then that narrative and that thought process kind of reach out to the masses, the general people. Yeah. And that's what you're that's the disconnect.
That's where the overhype culture comes from.
Right. It's affecting that ignorant talk is getting to regular people that can't differentiate between, like fake hype and then like genuine hype.
Actual information.
Wasn't Diablo 4 like this too?
Diablo 4.
I think
Diablo 4 was like, the conversations were fine. It wasn't the same thing. Diablo 4 just had weird development.
What was the game
that came out? It wasn't 3 huge.
People like it, but people have been pissed off with Diablo for like a while.
I have a coworker who was like, not.
What was the game that came out
Overwatch
that like all these people like jumped on board, even though that they didn't even realize like what kind of game it actually was? Like it was like weird. Like I was like,
sounds familiar. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I want to say it's not Armored Core. It was before Armored Core, but like. People were like, oh, are you going to pick up that new game? And it's like, that game is kind of like specifically for a certain
type. It's Elden Ring. And
was it
Sekiro and all that stuff?
I think Elden Ring. I think it was Elden Ring, where people were like, this is the most amazing game ever. And people didn't, like normal people didn't realize that this is a FromSoft game. Yeah. And this is it's really kind of like a certain type.
So then the game is bad.
And they're like, what the? Yeah. And it's kind of like that, where it's like that thought where there's like, this game is amazing. But you need to research before you go. Like, and it's just,
I did it with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing got me too.
It got me. I did not like that game.
It's just like me neither.
I'm like, I remember I was like, this shit kind of boring. I was like, because I was like, why can't I get? So I can only fish. I can only fish, catch butterfly. Like, why can I only do like 3 things outside?
Then I wish I was part of that. I wanted to be part of the conversation.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I really wanted to like it, but it just was not for me.
Not for me, and I learned my lesson.
But that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, I don't care whether or not you like Starfield or not, or you like No Man's Sky or not, or Cyberpunk or not. But the conversations that people are having on the internet about these games are fucking ruining the perception of these games, and the games have no chance to thrive either outside of their fandom or inside of it, because inside of it they're being such critics to the point that nothing is going to make them happy. And then outside of the fandom, every bit of information that this group has spread with the intention of overhyping their own game has made it out into the media. Now these people are disappointed because the game didn't meet those expectations.
You know what I hate though about that? Like the opposite of that. It's when someone shit on something, then many years later, it's now good.
They're like, it's not good.
Yeah.
That's revisionism, and that pisses me off too.
That happens a lot with movies.
So much with movies.
Yeah, a lot of movies.
People are trying to say that Iron Man 1 is like bad now.
What in the fuck?
I've seen that argument.
That movie still holds up.
The movie's great.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, one of the best in the whole
No,
MCU.
yeah, it is. Yeah. I feel like a movie.
Yeah. And like, people just don't know how to talk about something.
No, they're just bored.
Attaching their own identity into it, and like the overhype sensation that comes from like, well, if this thing is bad, then I have nothing. It's just kind of like, dude,
What?
go outside or relax.
People like,
to inject a little bit of positivity into this conversation.
Yeah.
Like I watched the Exorcist, the first Exorcist for the first time.
The original one?
Yeah, for the like the other night.
never watched it before?
No, that was the first time, and I just from the clips I've seen, I'm like, yeah, this movie's not gonna be that good. Just went in low expectations. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's fucking
I was like,
great.
damn, this is kind of fire. Like,
The movie's not bad in my opinion.
No, it's
but
not.
It's like, is it because it's good because it's low expectations, or is it good?
Some
people do that.
See, but that's the thing. Is there a difference between good from low expectations or good?
Yeah,
good? Because if a movie is good and you had low expectations, sure, it may have blown you out of the water, but the movie was good in its own merit. But if the movie's like good, and you had like the right expectations for it, the movie was still good, then it was just a good fucking movie. It's a good movie.
I think
that was such a crazy. I was like sitting there, I'm like, I have no idea where you're
some
going.
people like when they say that they just because they soften on the movie, so they're like. It's like, maybe it's been mid, but since your expectation was low,
you know what the best kind of
it looks
like
better than what you
going
see.
in completely blind and getting a good movie. Like when I went and watched Django, I didn't see one trailer. This is like when
Same
Django
with Talk to Me.
What's that?
Same with Talk to Me for me. I didn't know.
I've been meaning to watch that too. But when I went and watched Django,
I made a review on it.
I didn't really know Quentin Tarantino like through and through, like the director he is and like all his like his like thing of movies and everything. But like when I went and watched Django, just random, I was like, what the hell is Django? And I was just like, I saw it at the theater, never seen one ad for anything. I thought it was a random movie. I was like, all right. Sat down, I was like, damn, that was great.
Shit's good.
Or like when I watched the Insidious, never seen one ad about it or anything. It scared the shit out of me.
Me with The Conjuring, didn't know anything about The Conjuring, the original one.
Yeah.
Phenomenal movie. Same with Sinister. No idea about it. Great movie.
I love making that joke. Sinister made me an alcoholic for real. Made me buy a cardigan and a bottle of whiskey in the same day. Ethan Hawke, man.
There is something to be said about like walking into a movie no expectations and like having that movie just kind of blow you away. That happens way more often than I think the opposite, when you walk into a movie and then the movie was like fucking bad. But I think that happens more. What'd you say? You didn't like Barbie?
No, it was just too fucking weird for me.
That's funny.
Yeah, the movie.
That's like a thing. I almost kind of want to like don't watch a review, because like sometimes I'm like, you want to inform your kind of like your own opinion and then go watch a review afterward and see if your thought process lines up with that.
Yeah, those reviews and shit manipulate people's opinions.
In my opinion, reviews are not a pre-watch piece of entertainment. They're a post-watch discussion piece.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I mean. I'm like, I watch a lot of reviews just mainly because I get bored and just want to watch a video.
Or isn't it annoying though? Because I thought about this. Like, why would we watch a movie? We got to rush to the YouTube channel and like, what did this guy think about that? But why do we care? Why do we do that?
I think it's because
what is
like,
that?
Well, it's to save your money. It's like
no,
if you don't want
after you watch this movie.
Like, if God of War like got like a fucking 3 out of 1 out of 10, you're like, damn, is that game that bad? Like, maybe I'll just stay away.
Can you imagine?
Or it's kind of like the Cyberpunk thing where it's kind of like they got like a lower score, like a 7.
That's good.
But it was because it had so many fucking bugs where you're like, maybe not wait and just purchase it later or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't a score effect of the game, it's the bugs and crashing issues. But it's like, that's also an issue I have, man. People see a 7, they freak out.
It's like, oh, it's
but here's the thing, like, they gave God of War Ragnarok a 10 out of 10, and from just my opinion, and it's my opinion, that game is not like a 10 out of 10. It is nowhere near lives up the hype to it nowhere lives up to the hype of the first game.
Yeah,
nowhere.
it is.
But
The
it's
first game has more
definitely
magic.
it's an amazing game. But I don't think it was.
Is it
a 10 out of
nostalgia bias?
It was just like it was just more of the same. It literally, and you can fight, you can argue with me, but that was a PS4 game on a PS5 game. That
doesn't mean
held back.
anything though.
Yeah,
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about when this kind of shit happens. You are not wrong in feeling that way. I want to validate your opinion about the game. This is not about you. This is something that happens. The phrase PS4 game on PS5 hardware made me furious with rage. Because people used the hardware as an excuse to expect something better out of a product, where the hardware of which you are housing said product, unless it is a technical capacity of that hardware that is facilitating a vision
Got a can argument for this, by
of
the
the
way.
product, doesn't really fucking matter.
So
like
to a degree,
what matters, what Crockett is talking about is design philosophy.
Yeah.
In the game, the design philosophy of the game follows a lot of the same patterns that we saw in the early 2010s, because the game came out in the early 2010s or in the mid 2010s, and it is a sequel of God of War, and you can't change the game formula that much to call it a sequel, because you're trying to maintain a narrative thread and mechanical thread to the game there. So a game that comes out in 2023. Did it come out this year?
No.
Came out last year.
Came out
Last year, 2022. That comes out in 2022. That is a direct continuation sequel of a game that came out in 2016. Is going to feel like a 2016 game because the design philosophy is the same but modernized. That is an element that is true about gaming when you're doing a sequel. That is just the thing that happens.
Are you talking? So what are you being specifically? Because I was want to say, you mean to tell me, both of you guys, Tears of the Kingdom is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You're not gonna sit here and tell me you rather play it on a PC or PS5 than a fucking Switch with 4K and 60 frames per second or even more.
I don't have an opinion on that because I don't give a shit what.
But
hardware
you
it
know,
is.
objectively, that shit will make that game better.
It depends,
Right?
because
Yeah,
it
for
depends
sure.
because it's not always the case.
But
Like,
4K is
that's
objectively better than 1080 or fucking whatever the hell that game is.
The
like
thing,
the
okay, so
resolution
wait,
was-
the thing about that is like that
Maybe leave
game
it-
was specifically made to play on low hardware, because if you ever notice, the animation frames actually skip.
Yeah, it skips a lot. Of
They
those games.
don't. They do that because it has to play on lower hardware.
Yeah, but you know it would be better.
I don't know if it would be like a better game if they added more animation to it, but it would definitely look
Is
better.
it locked frame
That's the
rate?
thing. That's the
And it
thing.
probably
It's
like-
docked. That's like 60. It's like
Zelda's not 60.
it's 60 docked. You get a little bit of extra power when you're docked.
Yes, that game.
There's
got
got to be dips for sure, though.
Both
If it's
of
playing.
games. Both games
I have
dip.
the OLED. I have the OLED Switch, so maybe that's why it's.
The
different.
game's not a 6, it's a 30. Both of them are.
It might be true, but it doesn't drop frames for me. Doesn't drop.
Not Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild did for me frequently.
Breath of the Wild. I had a couple of frame drops from Breath of the Wild. I think that the hardware can make an argument for the game to be like potentially better, but the hardware for me does not dictate
It's
the
an
quality
iffy
of the
territory.
product.
The reason why people, and I'm
It's preference.
not
It's not
preference,
preference.
but it's annoyance of like, for me, and I understand, I really get the conversation with
Yeah.
that. People brought PS5 to play PS5 games.
Yeah.
These generations now,
I think.
we keep, everyone's doing it. It's like, if I want to buy a fucking PS5, I don't want to play a PS5. Look at Spider-Man 2. That gallop and environmental depth of the design of the game
Well,
is
just
so much superior. compared to-
load screens.
Yes, that.
Just
But
like there's going to be like between like Spider-Man PS4 and Spider-Man PS5
yes,
too.
that shit matters. though.
Like just loading from one end to the map to the other, you would have to get on a train and have a load screen in the first game,
And I hear you guys.
and then
like,
the SSD in the PS5 is going to make that seamless.
I completely get it. Like those games are still great despite what platform they're on.
Yeah.
That is true. But it blows my mind when people like say like it wouldn't make a difference if it's on something. They're like, it will make a difference. You probably don't care about those things, but those improvements are much better than
But
those on previous.
let me
consoles.
I
rephrase.
get what you're saying is that because it was a 2016 game and is a direct sequel to that it has to.
Mechanically, it is attached to the 2016.
But yeah, but that's
mechanics.
mechanics. That's not like the graphics and
that
but
shit
the-
matters.
the scale and everything.
See, the thing is, and then this is really where preference comes into play.
But like I don't know if the 100% that game was being because of like COVID and then like just the sell of like
No, it is a PS4 game.
yeah.
It just
because
upscaled on PS5.
because they didn't because they should have really developed that for PS5 and had that as a PS5 launch game.
Yeah.
But
We've
because
had
of
this
like
we've had this conversation before.
I'm sure we did.
On the
I don't
podcast when we were
remember.
talking about you might have not been in one of those episodes, but I remember us having this conversation.
Yeah.
about the exact same thing, about feeling like COVID delayed that game.
It was been
It's like, I'm
Well,
sure
that's why they had to develop a lot of games on PS. They had to hold back a lot of games on PS4, or they had to make it where this can't be as a PS5 exclusive. Demon Souls was because they had to have something exclusive to PS5 to ship it with that.
so far at least.
Yeah.
Jim Ryan changed all the shit. To go on what you said, that leads to the overhype conversation.
Yeah.
People were expecting, and I know it's weird, but cross-generation things has been a thing since last generation.
Yeah.
But PS5 is a good example of how overhyped the console was. It is a good console.
Yeah, it's a great console.
But there's an overhype thing around, overhype filter on it, where people are expecting this.
People are expecting a $5,000 PC
Yeah,
on a PS5.
and like people, it's like I get both sides of it.
Yeah.
People are expecting full-fledged PS5 games from the get-go.
Yeah.
Just drop PS4 completely, which I kind of agree though.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
I mean, if you look at Demon Souls, look how fucking amazing that game looks.
But
that was developed just for PS5.
But it's a smaller game. Though.
I agree on that kind of thing, but the thing is that you have to strategize how
Yeah.
your support systems are going to go.
Yeah,
So, like,
that's exactly what it is.
you're going to
stall
support
base.
PS4 games, and there's going to be a certain
Yes.
facet of games.
Yeah.
Probably going to be third-party games that are going to still be available on this console
Yeah.
for 2 years until the life cycle of that console dies
Dwindle,
down.
yeah.
And most of the audience.
That's the answer to it.
Well, that's the thing about PS4 and PS5 is like that because of COVID is like that thing is just
I'm still
cross-playing still.
I want to feel. I wish they deleted PS5 like a good
And
year
people
or two.
actually hate this because it just like they feel like what and it's kind of true in a sense of like where it does get held back where they have to develop on that single.
Yes, that's true.
And then graphically, because like what like Cyberpunk for example. I mean, Cyberpunk was a mess. Don't get me wrong. But if they were just like, we're not going to develop on these old consoles and just focus on one thing, that makes it so much easier on them.
Yeah, it does make it easier.
And less bugs and less bullshit.
There's like you see a couple days online, you know, I'm talking about Twitter, where people like praise when a game just drops that previous system. Like, thank fucking God.
Yeah,
Focus
it's kind of they're like, please.
Focus on the next generation. I
Yeah.
totally agree. I think it's all about strategy.
Yeah,
Like, so
no,
you gotta
what you said was completely right. That's the answer to
The
it.
answer is strategize how you're gonna support the ending of your life of your console, and then prioritize a new console.
So I don't expect these fucking same people coming into the PS6 and expecting nothing but PS6 games. No, it's gonna be cross PS5 games.
Crossover, especially now where like technology is getting so granular that the difference between a PS5 and a PC are getting smaller and smaller
And this is
every
like-
time that they drop the technology.
This is very funny because we are so old heads that we have seen this happen with like previous generations. So now we actually have like the knowledge to be like, well, back when, we know this is going to happen where going from PS4 to PS5 or, you know, Xbox
when
One
we went from
to...
PS3 to PS4, we had a year of cross-generational titles.
No, it was longer than that. It was like 2 years.
Yeah.
It was like, so 2 years is what we kind
good
of are
timeline,
growing.
yeah.
But right now, right now,
in year
we're
4.
in the longest where it's still getting cross-played.
Yeah.
And the reason why that, and I think the reason why that's happening is like, one, the PS5 definitely should have been delayed.
Yeah.
It should have been delayed by a year or two.
Year or two.
To
That's like
allow
just-
the PlayStation to really get out of its life cycle.
I brought Assassin's Creed Mirage today.
Oh, that came out already?
Came out today.
Nice.
I didn't know it came out today.
Yeah, me
Just
neither.
decided to wake up. I literally woke up. I'm gonna buy Assassin's Creed today. It was
Wow.
so,
Fucking awesome.
I got $5 off.
What's the
of
last time you bought Assassin's Creed?
it.
it
Not
Unity?
brought, but played. Unity's the last
Syndicate.
one.
Syndicate.
Damn.
Last one I brought was Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Syndicate was the last one that I bought.
That's
Played
the
British
Steam
one.
Age.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
The Brits, the fucking redcoats.
the
Oi,
redcoats.
oi, he stabbed me in the knickers.
What'd you say?
The knickers. In the
Shut that
pants.
up.
Do not bleep that. Do not make me look like a fucking racist.
That's on you for saying knickers weird.
What?
You said knickers.
What's knickers? Jesus Christ. That was a genuine reaction from me.
I know. It was like, what did he say?
Out here trying to
Lie.
say trousers.
What I was saying.
What was the other thing that you bleep one time that you thought like, oh, coonskin hat?
yeah.
Oh, that's the
Bleep.
raccoon thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
So
Brian didn't know that was like an actual like fucking thing.
I didn't know it was the name of it either.
Still
Coonskin
feels
hat.
racist. But
No, I get it. It could be country.
It's more racist that you think it's racist because you only know the racist
They know
part
what they
of
were
it.
doing there. They want to have fun with the word. No, I brought I brought Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I didn't know it was on PS4. Because the PS5 gave you the option of downloading which version.
yeah.
Oh,
And
you can
so-
delete that.
Now they used to like
No. It's just like on the store.
It tells you.
There's like a PS4 version and the PS5
Yeah,
version.
Yeah.
And then you can choose which one.
Well,
you
if you download, I think they still do this that you get both versions. Did you get PS5?
You get them for free, both of them.
Okay, then
But
that's
you can
what
choose which one you want.
Yeah, some games do that, some games don't.
Because some people buy the license and then they have like an older console that they're using.
Yeah.
Well, some people were doing that with like when this was like first coming a thing where the PS5 first came out. That if some people were buying the PS4 version and then getting like the free upgrade for PS5, because that's when they were like going from like 60 to 70 and stuff like that. That's not a thing anymore because it's kind of fixed. But
what I was saying is like I was like, you know what, that kind of let me down a bit because it's on PS4 too.
But I think
I didn't know that prior.
But I
PS5
think
Xbox game.
that like there is design philosophy that comes attached with an older generation console that can affect the development of the PS5 thing. But in my opinion, from my experience and from the games that I've played, it doesn't really fuck.
No,
with me that much.
you're right. I'm not disagreeing with that. It just is a mentality thing. And you're right too. Like I just realized it's almost 2024.
Yeah,
and we're still getting cross-gen games. That never clicked for me to know.
And it's also because like games as a live service are so
that's
popular.
what it is.
And like you want to keep the player base that can afford a PS5.
Well, it's games like PS or Grand Theft Auto 5 was like that
Overwatch and that kind of shit. Yeah.
God, it's 10 years now.
More than
it's
that.
still
It's
active.
been like fucking 12.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Anyway, my point is like hardware for me is another one of those topics where people generate a lot of overhype on.
Oh, of course, fucking Kotaku.
Colonies, those fucking guys.
Pussies.
I don't want to go there no more.
What's
No
wrong
one
with-
does.
What's wrong with Kotaku?
A bunch of pussies.
What do you mean? What does that mean?
Bunch of
Liberal pussy.
What happened with Kotaku?
Nothing.
People don't like them.
Why?
I love it. They do the same thing.
I mean, I don't know anything about Kotaku. Like, what happened with them?
It's nothing happened with them. They just kept putting out a bunch of like stupid articles, and people just got really tired of them. They're very
The same thing that happened to what is that? The
big giant bomb.
No, Adam Sessler show.
And it's not X-Play. Brian, what was it called?
What are you talking about?
What was that show where they had that girl where she was like, if you don't like the content, unsubscribe. G4.
No.
And then is G4 still around actually?
No, they died.
God damn.
Now I think we're in a territory where like I think I'm not gonna.
No, we're on.
not gonna
off
derail-
top. We're off topic.
I'm not gonna
Go
derail it.
back.
I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it. Let it take you away and be hopeful.